Hey everybody, my name's Trey and welcome back to my channel. I was on the internet because there's really nothing else to do during this quarantine, and I came across some amazing information in regards to whether or not you should be expecting another stimulus check from the US government. I know it seemed like just a few weeks ago a stimulus check would be more or less needed to float the economy until this crisis is over, but before we actually get into the nitty gritty of this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to get notified next time I post a video. And with that being said, let's get into the intro. I know what you're thinking. That intro just makes you want to dance. It is absolutely gorgeous, and yes, I did create it myself. Thank you for asking. And should I say it's borderline fire? Thank you. I don't want to take all the credit, but now, on a more serious note, with multiple companies working extremely hard to find a vaccine that'll actually combat this crazy new virus, it swayed the opinion of essentially everybody. Major media outlets, most Americans, and even the stock market has been affected in a relatively positive manner. But the problem with that is, if you've seen anything lately, you would think that everything's great. The stock market's up, the recession is over, and life is about to go back to normal. And that's just not necessarily true. See, the problem with major media outlets and the stock market is that they're extremely emotional, and you really can't rely on them to dictate what's actually going on in the economy. If we look back just a few months ago, when this virus first came on the scene, the stock market was absolutely tanking. And now with new information coming out about a possible vaccine, the stock market has been up, I think, for the last few days. And this is why you can't actually look at the stock market or major media outlets as a direct correlation between what's going on in the economy. The stock market can be up or down, and that doesn't mean that's what's going on in the economy. That just means that's what's going on that day in that actual stock market. You would think it's that simple to understand, but some people make it a lot harder than it's supposed to be. Now, with that being said, none of the companies that we're actually referring to have reported that they are anywhere near actually finalizing a vaccine that could be used to effectively combat this virus. However, recently there have been reports about a possible drug called remdesivir. I probably didn't say that right, so if I didn't, just let me know in the comment section below. But remdesivir is apparently in phase 3 of testing to be a potential, and let me emphasize this, a potential vaccine to combat this virus. And I know what you're thinking, what is remdesivir? Because I know it's the first time I've ever heard it before. Well, apparently it is a broad spectrum antiviral medication that was used to treat Ebola some time ago. Whoever would have thought that a vaccine for Ebola could be the vaccine to cure us of this current crisis? The times we live in, man, the times we live in. Being in phase 3 of testing, remdesivir has been used to treat patients with severe symptoms and has shown some really good promise. It has actually cured 50 to 60% of all trials that it's been initiated with when treating this current virus. One major fact, however, is this drug is not currently licensed, and if you know anything about the pharmaceutical industry, it could potentially take years for remdesivir to receive a license in which it can actually be used by the general public. But I'm assuming because of these strenuous circumstances, they might speed that process up if it does show more progress in phase 4 of testing. Now, in my opinion, these results are really promising for the simple fact that remdesivir was only used for patients who had extremely severe symptoms before entering into the trial phase with this new drug. So in my own headcanon, it makes a lot of sense that someone who would take this drug after it goes through the final phases of testing, who may have more moderate symptoms, should be cured relatively easily. But licensing isn't the only hurdle that's really hindering this drug to become the next vaccine for this disease. And that's because there are some major side effects when using this drug. The two most severe side effects are liver failure and acute respiratory failure, which are both extremely severe. And I understand people are dying all around the world because of this disease. I'm just saying that I think there needs to be more testing done so we understand how it affects people on a global scale. Now, I know what you're thinking. We're already halfway through the video and we haven't even talked about a stimulus check yet. Well, all this information is critical when it comes to understanding if there will or will not be another stimulus check given to the American population. And that's because if there is a vaccine for this disease, the US government will say, well, people are able to go back to life as normal, they're able to work, so there will be no need to correct the economy by giving people more money. So, with that being said, it is completely likely that another stimulus check is issued if unemployment stays at the level it is at currently, which is at an all-decade high. However, if a vaccine enters into the marketplace and it becomes globalized and people are able to get back to work relatively quickly, then I think a stimulus check will not necessarily be needed to correct the economy, and I'm pretty sure the government will say the same thing. Now, let me know down in the comment section if you personally will want another stimulus check. I mean, I wouldn't mind another $1,000 hitting my bank account. And for that, I'll see you in the next video.